What's up, Broncos country? Welcome back to the channel. Here to recap the Denver Broncos at the Washington Commanders. Escaped with a thrilling W. Wasn't able to watch the game as closely as I would have liked to. I was out on a family dinner, and then we went to a movie afterwards. So I was sitting there in my seat on my phone, had the game rolling. It was kind of hard to watch the game when we're eating dinner, but thankfully we left when it was like halftime. And the Broncos ended up going up like 13-7 at halftime, I believe is what it was. And, oh, baby, was I... And the crazy thing is when I watch the games, I'm one of those loud fans, okay? I just... Yeah, I might be obnoxious, but it was really a different experience for me this time, watching a game like this and not really being able to express myself. I was just sitting there quiet the whole time. There's a couple times when I quietly was like, yeah, baby. So, but man, it kind of sucked having nervous energy while I was out with the family. But all that just washed away once we got the W. I mean, it came down to the final play. Who saw that coming? I didn't think that this game was going to be close like that, but for just outsider football fans watching this game, this is a really entertaining game. I mean, it was pretty defensive, I'd say, probably third, fourth quarter. But man, I don't even know where to start. I guess we will talk about, first off, how we won the game. Commanders, this game went to overtime, and they scored a touchdown. I mean, both teams actually looked good to start that overtime. The Broncos marched down, got a touchdown right away. Evan Ingram actually had a decent game in this one, finally. Feel like we haven't spoke much of him of having decent games this season. Well, this was a really good game for Evan Ingram. And yeah, so he was big in that overtime drive. They went down, they scored, went up 27-20 because they went to overtime, tied 20-20. And then the Commanders, the thing that worried me a little bit in this game is our defense didn't look elite like they have been. And we got Surtain back, Singleton. But I don't know, maybe it was more of just Washington threw our defense off. Because they had nothing to lose, man. They threw everything at us in this game. Sunday Night Football in primetime, definitely want to beat a team like the Broncos that were 9-2 heading in. So that's kind of where I was at on that. But I guess we could look at the game leaders here. We'll kind of break down the throw of the game here in a minute. Bo Nix, I thought he was pretty good in this one. He had 321 passing yards. He was 29 for 45. Touchdown. He had one really bad interception, which he threw to Bobby Wagner. So that was another guy I was worried about in this game. I said that in the preview video. It was the Bo Nix versus Bobby Wagner matchup. He did get a pick off of him. I was worried about that. That could have been a game change right there, but I believe we only gave a field goal off of that, thankfully. But there were some clutch plays down the stretch. I mean, we did just enough to win. So yeah, all those plays came back, and we don't do one of those plays, we probably lose this game. There was one, though. Alex Singleton came back. He had a deflection late that forced the Commanders to punt. That was clutch, man. See, that's what I mean. I don't care what y'all say about Alex Singleton. I'm so glad he's on this team. Man, is he a freaking beast with everything he's been through. And just to come up with that clutch, he kind of punched the ball out. I forget which wide receiver almost caught it, but he caught it and then he popped it out and forced them to punt. That was clutch there in the fourth quarter. But yeah, rushing yards, their leading rusher was R.J. Harvey. 35 touchdown, 30 carry. He did have 2 touchdowns, though. He looked good in the red zone. And then Mariota was the leading rusher for the Commanders, 55 yards on 10 carries. Receiving yards, our leading receiver was Evan Ingram. There you go, tight end, 6 catches. The tight end of the Commanders is their leading tight end. He had a big game against us. I praised Jahdae Barron and the whole defense doing a good job against tight ends, but Zach Ertz, he cooked us in this one. He had 106 yards on 10 receptions. Sacks, Nick Bonito with the sack and the game-sealing play when he deflected the 2-point conversion, which would have gave the Commanders the victory. And then 1 sack for Frankie, was it Lovu? Or Luvu? Total yards, Commanders with 419, Denver 402. Both sides had a turnover. First downs 30-23 in favor of Washington. Penalties 5 apiece. Only 33 yards for Denver, 35 for Washington. Third downs, Denver was 7 for 15 and Washington was 8 for 17. Fourth downs, we were 1 for 1 and Commanders 3 for 3. Yeah, there were some points when I thought we could have won this game, especially there in overtime. I was a little bummed that our defense gave up a 4th down twice on the same drive. They gave up a 4th and long. I mean, there was one point in that overtime. I think it was like 2nd and 25, and we gave that up. I mean, that was like, wow. I'm surprised. I'm shocked. I'm stunned. Our defense didn't get the stop right there. But yeah, I mean, they just love giving us heart attacks. I've come to get used to that, unfortunately. And then 4th and goal, unfortunately, I think McLaurin got the touchdown. So that was big for them to get him back. He was a problem in this game. But yeah, and then they go for 2, and we end up getting the clutch play, which that was the most important stop right there of any of them. So it all worked out in the end. Red zone, both teams 3 for 5 possession. Time possession, 35 total for Washington, 30-13 for Denver. Yeah, we started out the game looking pretty good. I thought we were going to score a touchdown right away, but fortunately got held to a field goal. And then it was 3-0 entire first quarter. Washington had some... They were kind of marching our offense, though, there in the first half. Or our defense, I mean. That, again, was worrying me. I was like, okay, maybe they're just, having a little bit of a slow start. We've had a while off. I got to give the offense credit, though. They look a lot better than previous weeks in this one. They put up 27 points. They look really good on that first overtime drive. But, yeah, that other touchdown pass, or the one touchdown pass that Bonix had, which was late in the second. Early in the second, we ended up getting another field goal, making it 6-0. And then Washington got a touchdown, made it 7-6. Not saying it the other way around. And then touchdown late in the second, Broncos, 23 seconds to go. Cortland Sutton, 11-yard pass for Bo Nix when he was falling down. It's like dare I say it, Chris Collins, he probably did say in the game, I couldn't hear the sound because it was so loud in the restaurant. And I don't really even think there was sound. They just had the TV going. But he probably compared him to Mr. Mahomes. That's something I could see Chris Collinsworth doing. But, I was pretty sick, though. He's falling down. I thought he was going to get sacked or something or incomplete. But no, he threw a dart to Cortland Sutton. So, we ended up going up 13-7.5. And then Washington early in the third, they get a touchdown. Okay, it's late. Traylon Burks, that made 14-13 Washington, and then we got a touchdown 6 minutes later. R.J. Harvey made it 20-14, and then, in the fourth quarter, early, Jake Moody with a 38-yarder made it 20-17, and then, it was kind of back and forth for a little bit there. I felt like we had chances to win the game and, pat the lead a little bit, but we didn't do it. And I was starting to kind of feel inside that we were slowly letting this game slip away. And I was kind of starting to accept the fact that maybe we don't win this one. And that's what happens to me. I sometimes think of the worst case scenario. I'm like, all right, so if we lose this game, what do we need to happen? What does this look like? What do we need to do there? How is this going to happen? You know, I look at every scenario, win or lose. So I was starting to think of those scenarios. Those scenarios were starting to creep in. But I was like, well, let's see what happens in overtime. Anything can happen. And sure enough, Washington deferred. I was kind of surprised by that. But I guess they were like, let's see if you guys can march down us. Because if you don't, we're going to go score a field goal and beat you guys or something. But no, we ended up marching down. We looked really good on that drive. RJ Harvey, 5-yard touchdown. And then the Commander, they look good on their drive too. I mean, I was a little disappointed in our defense tonight, but anyway, got down to the wire. They did get that touchdown. Went for 2 to try and win the game. They didn't want no tie or nothing. They were just trying to win it all right there. And guess what? The man himself, I had got his jersey on, Nick Benito, with the clutch deflection to seal the game for the Broncos. Woo! Sitting 10-2. Yeah, I had to let that woohoo out because was not able to do that earlier. Had all that inside here. Now it's time to let it all out. But man, huge win. Sunday Night Football. A lot of haters are saying we're the worst 10-2 team right now. But did you see our 2015 Broncos team? They said the same thing about them as well. When we were winning games like this, the thing is we're finding ways to win these games. So we just got to keep doing it, man. We're 2 games up on the Chargers. We're 4 games up on the Chiefs. So, man. We control this thing, baby. Just got to keep going. Big wins, man. Every win down the stretch here are big wins. Doesn't matter how you get them. Just got to find a way to get them. They found a way to get this one. And freaking Nick Benito, baby. Whew. All right, I'm going to go recap a couple more players here, and then we're going to call it. So, other rushing yards, Jaleel McLaughlin got 6 carries for 24 yards. Bo was 2 carries for 16. Receivers, Sutton, 5 catches, 62 yards. They had a pretty solid game. Troutman, 3 catches, 47 yards. Pat Bryant, 3 catches, 42 yards. RJR, 3 catches, 27 yards. Trey Franklin, 2 catches, 21 yards. Everybody else was under 20 yards, which we had 4 guys under 20 and 2 guys under 10. Sacks, we had 2 sacks in this game. I feel like our defense normally gets more, but Nick Benito with 1 and then DeAndre Tillman with the other. Drake Greenlaw did have an interception this one early in the game. It's kind of funny, man. I don't know what happened, but when Adam Troutman caught one of the passes, I was like, yeah, Jeff Hireman, baby. And I was like, oh, wait. I was like, we ain't in 2016. I don't know what happened in that moment. But I was like, Hireman, baby, let's go. And I was like, oh my God. I don't know. Maybe I had a 2016 flashback. Let's go to the Commanders. Yeah, Terry McLaurin, 7 catches, 96 yards. What did I mean? I told you he was big in this one. Deebo Samuel had a big game as well, 5 catches, 64 yards. So, yeah, their top 3 receiving options, they all went off. Their running game was pretty good in this one, too, and that's what I said in the last one, that we had to contain that. But it was a mixture of Marcus Mariota. He had a good game running against us. The 10 carries to 55 yards, but Rodriguez, 11 carries, 41 yards. McNichols, 6 carries, 30 yards. And then Krosky Merritt, 4 catches, 20 yards. So that's what I mean. They had over 100 yards of rushing on the day combined. Fumbles, Mariota had a fumble. And then Deebo Samuel had a fumble. but Deebo Samuel. Or no, then Jeremy McNichols and John Bates had a fumble, but they... I don't know. It says that none of them were lost. So we had a fumble, Bo Nix, but he recovered. And then they had one total sack, which was Frank Louvu. Yeah, I don't know how to say it. Let me look at Von Miller. Von Miller, this one was pretty quiet. He had one solo tackle and a quarterback hit. So he didn't have a big game against us. Thank you, Von. Yeah, Bobby Wagner with the pick. And other than that, that's probably going to do it here. Anyway, let me know what y'all thought about this crazy game. I mean, my heart's still racing, and it was tough for me to be quiet the entire time, especially watching a game like this. And I hate when there's games like this, but I feel like it always happens. When I got to go into events or something, I feel like when my team's playing during those events, it's always a crazy, gut-wrenching game, thrilling type game. I'm like, why couldn't you guys do this like the times that I have to myself that I can watch you play? Like, why you gotta do this to me? But anyway, just glad they got the W. 10-2 on the season, 9 wins in a row, baby. 9 wins in a row. That's crazy. I mean, I'm super, super satisfied with how the seasons went. And we just got to keep it up, baby. We got to keep it going. So we're in a really good spot right now. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the vid. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Other than that, stay safe, be good. Go Broncos. I'll have a couple unboxings coming up the next few days, and then we'll have a preview video on Wednesday. Other than that, stay safe, be good. Go Broncos! See you on the next one.